Wreath Boutique. Today we're going to learn how to use kind of a new mesh. It's called Cotton Faux Jute Mesh Check, and this is a buffalo plaid. It's kind of a poly burlap, a deco mesh, a fabric mesh, and a jute all in one. So there's no wood burner for this method. We're just going to use a rotary cutter for it. This is mesh that you can find at the Wreath shop, and I'm going to leave you my link below in the description box. It is an affiliate link. And then we're just going to use a simple 10-inch, it still even has the tag on it. I like to use the Doris brand. A simple 10-inch wreath frame you can get at consumercrafts.com for like $1.57, so it's really inexpensive to use. So I did use 2 rolls. You could get away with 1 roll. I will explain that throughout the process of this video. You can find these stars at or in my Amazon affiliate shop. You would have to spray paint them because that's what I did with this one. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it really fun using a new product to make a beautiful flower wreath. And this is a design that I did, oh my goodness, about 2 years ago, and you all just loved it, but unfortunately they don't make that mesh anymore. So we're gonna use this mesh, try it a little bit differently, and I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna get our star situated here so that it can be put inside the wreath. This was originally a black star that I had spray painted this like kind of navy blue so that we have the red, white, and blue theme. And again, you can use whatever color star you want, depending on what kind of mesh you want to use. This right here, this is an 8-inch star. I have these in my Amazon shop. You can either buy like 1 or you could buy like 3 of them. So it depends on how you want to spend the money. But the link will be below. So what I'm going to do is right here in the middle, there's a little bit of a hole. So I want to make sure I don't get too much glue in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a piece of this just scrap felt here. And the glue in my glue gun, it's very important. I want you to understand that this is the Gorilla Glue Sticks. And I'm using this because it kind of adheres better for different metals and for different temperatures, because I don't want this to come apart. So I'm taking a piece of wire here, and I'm just going to bend it down here. I should probably put this down. I'm going to bend it down, and I'm just going to lay it in a way, and then I'm going to put some glue over top of it. Okay, and I'm going to be really careful because, like I said, there's a little bit of a hole in the middle of my star, so I don't want to make sure that the glue doesn't seep through there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this dry, put a little bit more, and then that way, once it's all dry, we have a way to put our star inside the wreath. And it's kind of the same method I use for a lot of my centers. So I'm just going to put a little bit more glue, and then we will get started on the wreath. All right, so now what mesh are we using? For this particular wreath, I'm using the white and the red, but you can get this in a white and black, which I think is super cute, the buffalo check. And then you can also get the red and black buffalo check as well. Okay, so let's look at what this mesh is called. This is called a cotton faux jute check mesh. Okay, that's a big word. I don't know if you can see it there, but I'm going to link the item number in the description box below so that you know what you're looking for if you want to make one just like mine. So this is a little different. This cannot be cut with a wood burner. Okay, and the reason why, it has that natural jute in it, and that is a fiber that can't be cut by heat. It'll just smoke and it won't cut through. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our rotary cutter. And I've worked with this stuff before. I've done other videos, at least one other video, maybe 2, where I've used the rotary cutter, and it doesn't fray as much. Now, when we're all done, I'm going to show you this spray that we're going to use, okay? And I don't know if I've showed you this spray before. I get this clear acrylic Rust-Oleum. This one is satin. You can use matte as well. It's good to help with the UV protectant, but it will help seal our edges as well. So this is what I'm going to spray at the end. I probably will not focus too much on the center of the wreath, but just the petals themselves. So this is what I would recommend. You can use this on poly burlap wreaths to help with the fading and the fraying. So This comes, generally it's a 10.5-inch roll, but like for this, for instance, this roll, it was more like a 10-inch roll. It's just kind of, you just are gonna have to look. So for this black and white is bigger. I don't know if you can see than this red and white. We're gonna just cut these at 10 inches each. Now, if your roll is more like 10.5 inches, then I would cut it at 10.5. So use your, you know, your best judgment with that. So I'm just gonna cut it, and I like this particular brand of rotary cutters when I'm using it. What is this called? An Olfa? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. But again, it's in my Amazon store. So I'm just gonna cut in between the line. So if my line kind of curves this way, I'm gonna follow that curve. Even though it's not a straight edge, I'm still gonna stay in between, okay? So we're just gonna cut these at 20 because this particular roll is more 10 inch than 10.5, even though the brand says 10.5, okay? If yours is more 10.5, I want you to cut it at 10.5. That's really important. But like right here, I'm just staying in between the lines that you probably can't see, but I can. So I'm just gonna cut all this mesh, and then we're going to show how to put it together. All right, so we're back, and I have a 10-inch wire wreath frame. I do like to get these at consumercrafts.com. And I've already put some plastic canvas mesh in here. You can get this at your local craft store, or I even have that in my Amazon shop as well. So I'm gonna just take my zip tie, and we're going to work on bar 2. So there's bar 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're gonna work on bar 2. We're gonna start at the cross bracket, and I'm just gonna put my zip tie in between this side and this side of bar 2, okay? So I'm gonna lay that to the side here. I'm gonna pick up a piece of mesh. Now, it's kind of important. I want you to kind of pay attention to what I'm doing here, because when I make this petal, I want the finished side, which is this side here. This is the unfinished side, so this is the side that would do more fraying. I want it to be the most side that is bare to the world. And when you're looking at your wreath, I don't know if that's a good way to explain it, but we're going to meet in the middle, and we're just going to gather it. And then when we come over here, we're just going to do the petal that I like to do, where I slightly lay this petal over top of the other petal. So now what you're going to see here is that this finished side is what's going to be more, I can't think of the word I want right now, that is going to be more exposed, that's the word I want, than your side that does not have that finished edge, okay? So we're going to just simply put this on our first spot here. And you just need to pay attention. We'll do this again, and I'm going to show you exactly when you're folding this. So what you want is you want the finished side up the bottom and the finished side at the top. You're going to take this side, meet in the middle, the same thing. You're going to just gather it, and you're going to flip it over. So when you flip it over, you have that finished side that's exposed. I'm going to take another zip tie, and I'm just going to go on that wire 2, and I'm going to place it right here. All right. Now, I think that, I don't know, let's see here. I think we could probably get away with just one petal on each of the outers and then one on the inside, but let's just do this inside one, and see if it works. So again, finished side on the bottom, finished side at the top. I make my petal, I gather it, flip it over, and I lay one petal slightly over the other. I pinch it at the bottom, and I'm going to just see if this is going to be enough. Because usually I would say do 2 petals in between the brackets. So let's see if this is going to be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that finished petal is over top of that unfinished side. So what I think is, I think we could just do 10 petals on this outside. So number 1, it will save us on mesh, and so hopefully maybe we can just do 1 roll. We'll see. So let's just keep going. So you're just going to keep doing that. So you're just going to put 1 here, one at the bracket, one in the middle, same until you get all the way around. So I will do all that and I will come right back. So I have the first row and I think it's pretty good. If you wanted to do 3 petals per section, and then that would be 15 petals in total, you could definitely do that. Here I only use 10 petals total. So this is a little different than I would normally tell you to do, but I kind of feel like this mesh covers a little bit nicer. So we're just going to try to get away with just 1 roll. I don't know. By the time this video is done and I record the beginning of it, I might tell you you're going to need 2 rolls. So please excuse what I just said if that's the case. But I really like the look of this. And so now what we're going to do is simply we're going to go to bar 3. So you have bar 1, 2, which is the one we did our first. We're going to work on the next bar, which is bar 3. And we're just going to put a petal in between each of these spots to lay our red and white buffalo check in. So just simply place your zip tie there. And again, if you watched this, like for instance, right here, I didn't tuck this one under this petal, and this is the edge that is unfinished. This is where we cut, but over here, I'm going to lay this one where the cut petal edge is over top of it. So that's really important when you are not using the wood burner. You need to pay attention to this detail, okay? So again, you want the finished edge down here, finished edge up here, meet it in the middle, gather it, flip it over. And this does not act as nice as poly burlap, but it's not as contrary as deco mesh can be. That's kind of the way I would put it. Okay, so we've got our petal and we're just going to simply place it in our zip tie, and that's all there is to it. Now, these zip ties that I'm using, these I do have in my Amazon shop. They come in bags, and I think they're like $19 or $20 for like 1,000 of these, but they come in the bags. There's 2 different kinds of zip ties I suggest. This is my favorite because it's really thin and it's really easy to work with on your hands. So again, we're just going to go to, I've got a piece of string there, to the next open area here. And I'm just simply like here, this is, you know, a frayed piece. I'm going to just take that off. But this really won't fray quite as much as maybe a poly burlap would. So that's what I like about it too. I like that about this product. So, and when you use that spray, you're kind of helping to not weatherproof it, but you are helping that process. No wreath is totally weatherproof. The sun will eventually decay a wreath, any wreath, okay? But the spray does slow down the process. So I'm going to put another one here, and I'm just going to finish this all the way around, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we've done the second layer. I did cut into the second row, so you will need 2 rolls of this. But listen, I want you to know that instead of, normally we do 3 layers of petals, we're going to do 4 layers of petals, because this center section needs to be as small as we can get it. Because when you think about the middle of your wreath, you only have this small section that's going to cover the middle. So that's what we're going to do 4, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to go back and we're going to put another 10 petals around, and we're going to keep that same momentum in between each of the previous of the second layer. We're going to keep to as close as I can, maybe about a ½ inch or so from the bar. Okay, so we had bar 1, 2, 3, and then this is 4. So about a ½ inch from that bar, okay? So you're just going to take your petal, just like we've been doing, and we're going to do the same method. We're going to flip it over. We're making sure that finished edge is there, okay? And then I'm just going to put it right in between the 2 previous petals on the bar beforehand. Okay, so I'm looking for my wire cutters. They were hiding on me. So just take another zip tie. And by the time you get into the plastic canvas, they do lay really nice, and you could just go ahead and fill it all in. But I'm just going to do it one at a time here. And this feels like mesh. It feels a little bit like a poly and a little bit of a deco mesh at the same time. It feels like it has all the different components when you are making a wreath, when you're working with different kinds of mesh. A little bit of fabric mesh, a little bit of poly burlap. The white has some poly burlap. The red is more of the jute. And it still has some of the deco mesh in it as well. So, all right, so I'm just gonna finish this inside row here, and then I will come back and show you the fourth and final row. Okay, so now we're down to the last row of petals. Now you see that it's pretty tight. So at this point, if you had a different sign, if you had something that would fill that spot, to go right ahead. You don't have to use this fourth set, and you could get away with just one roll of this mesh, because at this point I've only used 30 cuts of this mesh, but we're going to use a few more in the middle. So I'm not concerned with making sure that we do 10 petals in the middle, because obviously I don't have room for 10 petals. Okay, so I'm thinking we're probably going to do maybe 5, maybe 7 petals maybe. And so I'm just going to take my zip tie, and I'm going to, from the bottom of this point, I'm just going to maybe go not even quite a half of an inch. Let me just show you here. So if you see, there's the bottom and there's the petal. I wish I had colored zip ties for you. That would probably show it a lot clearer. I'm going to just do the same method and just keep going with it on this one. And I really am not having a lot of issue with the fray, guys. This product is different than maybe poly burlap or fabric mesh or regular deco mesh. This is a different type of product. So I would really encourage you to try to maybe order some from the Wreath Shop and see how you like it, okay? And that link will be below. So anyhow, so we're going to do it pretty tight, okay? So I've got one there, so let's see. We're going to put the next one. So, just going to put it right beside it, as you can see there. I don't know, we might, I mean, you could get 36 cuts, or like, this roll is, let me look here. It's by 10 yards, so that's actually what? That's 30, is that 36, guys? I don't know, my math isn't very good. Like, Julie, just finish the wreath, okay? You're not a math teacher, I know. All right, so we're gonna make it pretty tight in here. So we're gonna do 1 there. So we're gonna do 3, 4, 5. I think we're gonna do 6. So I'm gonna finish this up. And again, it's just gonna be really tight, and then I'll tell you how many I use. Okay, so here is the good news. The good news is I only use 6 petals in the center. So that's a total of 36 petals. Now I did cut into a second roll, but that was because I didn't think I'd have enough. So like when you have a strand there, you're just gonna cut it there. So you could, if you did this really, really carefully, you could make this work with 1 roll. But I just don't like, I'm the type of person, I'd rather have an extra roll just in case. Or if you use an 8-inch wire wreath frame, then of course you would have plenty, okay? So now it was really tight, and I had to kind of go over top of some of the edges. I'm going to show you here. So it was really tight, okay? And that's okay. It's all right. So all I'm going to do is I just take my star here, and I'm just going, I did use wire. I didn't use a pipe cleaner because a pipe cleaner would have a hard time getting in through all that mesh. So I just kind of feel like the star, or the wire, just has a better chance of getting in there. So I'm just going to run it through. And you're just going to kind of have to play around with it, because you are going to need to pull it down a little bit, if that makes sense. I'm pulling it down pretty good. All right, so just gonna tie it off. So at this point, I would just clip off these edges, and then I already have a pre-cut piece of felt that I do put on the back of my wreaths. Let me see. And I'm not really sure where it went. Oh, there it is. I see it. So all I do is I take it, and of course, as you can see, I like to cut it with the like wave blade. And I just take some of my shorter zip ties and I make a little hole in here, and then you just go around the wreath frame with maybe 6 or 7 zip ties, and then you're just going to hang the wreath from any point on the bar. So I will just like finish that up and just turn that zip tie underneath. All right, and then you have your wreath. And I think that looks really cute. I think the light is kind of shining on it, but listen, if you made it all this way through this video, number one, I appreciate you. Number two, thank you so much for watching my YouTube videos. You guys have supported me so much in this last year that it's just kind of unbelievable for this stay-at-home mom that turned into a work-at-home mom. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate the time that you put into my videos and watching and following me. So number one, follow me on Instagram. I need your help over there. So the link is in the description box below. Number two, follow me on Facebook. Number three, I have a wreath group and a crafting group. If you love to craft, if you just like to look at pretty crafts, make sure to join Wreath Creators and More. Number four, if you like any type of tutorials that maybe are a little different, I do have some premium tutorials down below. I also sell wreaths as well, and all those links are, again, down below. If you made it this far, please leave me a star emoji in the comments below. Again, you could do this wreath with this black and white and just do a black star in the middle, or the red and black and do a black star. I think that would look really pretty too. And if you do and you put it in Wreath Creators and More or on my page or anywhere, just make sure to tag me so I can see it. So again, thank you for watching another video tutorial from Julie's Wreath Boutique. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.